first time that's happened in NFL history. Niners won the toss, chose to defer, so the Cowboys will get the football. Former Ohio State Buckeye Ezekiel Elliott off to the right side, and that'll be a gain of close to 6 on first down. First throw, and batted down at the line of scrimmage. Now, if there's one area the 49ers really like their defense, Troy, Foster is on the field. Injured his ankle week 1. Batted down for a second time.
Ezekiel Elliott ran for 5 yards and then 2 straight incompletions.
The 9th time all year long, the Cowboys have gone 3 and out. That's the second fewest in the league. To Washington. Trent Taylor, the rookie, puts it on the ground, and the Cowboys take advantage, pick it up inside the 20-yard line. That's 2 games. 11 drives in the red zone with 10 touchdowns. Elliott back-to-back big carries and stumbles down to the 5-yard line. First and goal, Dallas. First and goal from the 6th, 3rd carry for Elliott. Down close to the 2-yard line.
Those are 3 good runs to start this game.
I think of a 6-game suspension overturned by a district court in New York. So he's playing again, and he has found the end zone.
They get a double here, and then you've got Jonathan Cooper, who's able to get up to the second level.
They've got 4 number 1 picks on that Dallas offensive line. 3 of them drafted by the Cowboys, and Cooper now starting, a former number 1 pick by Arizona. Raheem Mostert, the speedster out of Purdue, will watch it fly through the end zone. So here's C.J. Beathard, making his first NFL start. And he'll turn and hand it to another former Ohio State Buckeye running back. That's Carlos Hyde, much like Elliott.
Got a chance to visit with him. He had a deep tissue massage on Friday. He's ready to go.
Beathard gets a big block from Carlos Hyde, but is unable.
A week during practice, that has got to help him with some of the timing.
Good protection. And he lofts it to the sideline, had an eye on Garcon, and it's incomplete. Grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, played collegiately for the University of Iowa. Don't know if that was tipped or just a bad punt. Bad punts would be rare for the 49er Bradley Pinion. Elliott off to a big start today, and that's another run for close to 5 for Ezekiel Elliott.
Kyle Shanahan's really one of the great offensive minds, and we'll see what kind of head coach he makes. But they're going to have to take some time to build this team.
Quick slant to Dez Bryant. They give it to Cole, or to Ryan Switzer. So the rookie out of the University of North Carolina carries it for the 3rd time this year.
That's how they've been able to utilize him, but I thought he'd have a bigger role at this point in the season.
Take it one way. Bryant has to throw it straight into the ground. Dropping in the divisional round at home to Green Bay. 3rd down. Heavy pressure. And a battle for the football, and a flag comes down late. That was Bryce Butler over there with his 2nd-year corner, Rashard Robinson.
Most penalized team in football.
That's a penalty worth 17 yards, and Elliott, to follow up about the youth at corner.
Great deal. You're going to be relying on some young players. There's been a lot of movement throughout this season within this roster.
First catch of the afternoon for the 10-time Pro Bowler Jason Witten, and that'll move the chains to first down for Dallas, a gain of 11. Now first down, Prescott to throw it again. And feeling the pressure. And are they going to say he was sacked?
Sacked or intentional grounding, one or the other. I don't know how you get away with that one.
There is a penalty flag down.
There were fouls by both teams during the play. Illegal contact, defense, number 33. Intentional grounding, offense, number 4. Those penalties offset. Replay first down.
Elliott checks back in the game, and they put it in his hands. It's Ezekiel Elliott to the 10, the 5. And for a second time, Elliott to the end zone.
Is an outstanding blocker, and he clears a lane. That's great effort. Great job finishing off this drive for this Cowboys offense.
And he is some kind of back. That is Elliott's longest touchdown run of this season. And a point after by Bailey. He has never missed a point after. Very short kickoff. Mostert tripped up to the 23-yard line.
All with Kenny Chesney. No shirt, no shoes, no problem, too.
Tell you, Aaron,
Side of Nashville, so that's naturally where his dad would call home. It's a nice throw right there on the completion to Goodwin after the 13-yard carry.
Keith Goodwin.
Beathard looking down the field, rolling. He'll keep it himself, and that's not a bad pickup on first down. It was Hitchens who trips him up, but it's a gain of close to 5. Second down, Hyde, a 12-yard carry, and now it'll be the rookie Burrito checks into the game. Beathard's going to keep it. How about that? And down the sideline he goes and run out of bounds at a 25-yard line. This has been a solid drive.
They needed to pick up a 3rd and 1. They've had trouble on that down.
They fake it to Hyde. They try and throw it to Hyde. The pass is short.
He's trying to gather himself.
Put it in the hands of Pierre. That's played nicely by the Cowboys. Byron Jones coming up.
You have him here in San Francisco.
3rd down and 8. 4-man rush. Good protection. And incomplete. He had an eye on his running mate at the University of Iowa. Another rookie in George Kittle. Gold from 42 out. He's been as good as anybody in the league.
Defense can slow down the Cowboys. They've scored touchdowns on each of their last 2 drives.
And what a start for Ezekiel Elliott. He's on the bench as they fake it to Alfred Morris, and that is Cole Beasley. He's had a very quiet season after leading the Cowboys in receptions and receiving yards. Morris, a 3-time 1,000-yard rusher. After initially breaking in the league with the Washington Redskins, he was a 6th-round pick back in 2012. And second down and 9. Prescott all day to throw, and it's incomplete. Good coverage in the secondary, that time by Dante Johnson. They just do get it off, and here comes the pressure in a hurry. And denied first down yardage. Is that a catch or is that a fumble? They're saying it's a catch, and did the ground cause the fumble?
They needed to make a stop, and they were able to keep from giving up any more points.
It's interesting, it was a stop on a drive where the Cowboys did not have Ezekiel Elliott in the game. When they finally hear Elliott's case in the district court in New York, down the middle of the field, and it is caught by Goodwin. And the former Texas Longhorn.
Perfect throw.
That's Sean Lee back and healthy again to stop Carlos Hyde.
That's not how you draw up plays, I can guarantee you.
Well, he had a wide open Goodwin that time, very close to another first down, but it's short. Good protection. Now the pocket collapses. And that is David Irving.
See, to hang on to the ball and try to make too many plays when he doesn't have to. Gotta get the ball out.
Fair catch by Switzer inside the 15. Elliott back into the game. Play action. And is it a catch? Still waiting. 49ers are saying no. We'll take a look. You be the judge.
From here, I thought it was. We'll take a look. And
there's an injured 49er on the play. That ball looked like it hit the ground.
San Francisco.
That's going to be an easy one to overturn.
The field of a completed catch. We'll review the play. Reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver did not maintain control of the ball. The ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be Dallas's ball, 2nd and 10 on the 14-yard line. Please reset the clock to 24 seconds, please. San Francisco is not charged with a timeout.
Filling in for the injured Robinson. Prescott, a little read option here. It's been a successful play. Opened this venue, Levi Stadium, a couple of years ago. My, oh my.
Play there by the rookie.
Prescott gets it away, and the crossing pattern is another first down to Des Bryant. Now first down from a 38. Zeke will get it again. Off the left side.
A catering business was bringing lunch quite often.
Prescott has to throw it away. Put it down in 4. Looking at Bryant again. And that is a catch. Elliott continues to plow ahead. Look like early movement on Cowboys. That's Bryant on Witherspoon, as you pointed out, Troy, but got a feeling this one's coming back.
Throw the hitch route. It's still a heck
Offside.
of a play.
Defense, number 92. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is the first down.
Members of that secondary nicked up already in the game today on a first down. Ezekiel Elliott looking for his 3rd touchdown. There's a penalty flag in the secondary.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
And we're just underway in this second quarter. This drive began from their own 14. Alfred Morris cuts it back to the inside, and he's to the 18-yard line. Zimmer. Looking to the end zone for Witten. One-handed catch, and that is a touchdown for Jason Witten.
Job by Dak Prescott. First of all, a lot of time in the pocket. He gets back to Witten, who's about his 2nd or 3rd in the progression. He knows he's got one-on-one. He comes back and works the slot. A well-run route by Witten, keeps it up the field.
To try and make it a 21-13 lead. Prescott going to throw it. And batted down. They're starting strong safety. Who will kick off. And the ball is bobbled by Mostert at the 1-yard line. He's got to bring it out. And he's wrestled down to the 14. So, understanding he was injured in pregame warmups. That is an 11-yard reception by Goodwin.
Philadelphia is able to win. They maintain a 2-game lead in the NFC East.
Rita, one out of bounds. You always assume it'll be the punter that handles kickoffs. If something happens to the regular guy, there's a reception made by Garcon. That'll bring up Notre Dame. Just took USC apart. Beathard, quick throw. And that's his favorite target going back to their college years. Just one season again.
He's able to secure it.
Well, he leads the NFL in drops. Carlos Hyde looking for anywhere to run, and just nothing there.
First time, 49ers have had a hard time running the football in this game.
Second down, 12, sacked. Third down and 20. Hyde up to the 42. It'll bring on the punt team. Pinion leads the NFL, pinning teams inside the 20. But Switzer will cross the 20 on this return and run out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line. There's a penalty flag.
During the kick, holding. Number 30 of the receiving team. The penalty is half the distance from the end of the kick. Dallas's ball, first down. Timeout.
Well, they're going to hand it to Elliott. 28-27. Elliott tripped up after a 1-yard.
One of the greats.
Pump fake in the end zone. Prescott better get rid of it, and he just throws it away. Incomplete. Punt from his own end zone. Gets it away. angling towards the sideline. We'll see where they spot this. Up close to the 40 so far this year. Of course, they've already lost as many games this year as they lost last year. Beathard gets it away somehow, and it's incomplete. Delay to Carlos Hyde. Powerful running by Hyde across midfield, and that is a first down to the 48-yard line.
But those are the things they're trying to shore up in run defense.
Fake it one way, looking to Garcon the other way. And that is a first down to the 25-yard line. That's a very, very nicely designed play. By the 17-yard carry a minute ago. They'll replace him with Breida, who puts it on the ground but is able to cover it back up.
Let's worry about that with a young back.
That was in the air a long time, but it managed to get there. It brings up third down and short. That keeper with Beathard. After they faked it to Hyde, this time they give it to Hyde, and they're 2 for 2 on third down and a yard today. From the 23, a first down. Carlos Hyde into the open field. And he's to the 7-yard line. I tell you what. Give it to Hyde again. This time Dallas saw him coming, but he still gets down to the 5, wrapped up by Jalen Smith, who had been logging all of the...
Limited even 2 weeks ago against the Packers.
Out of the shotgun. Hit as he throws. Is that a loose ball? It is. Now the question is, who covered it up? The Cowboys have it. And that's DeMarcus Lawrence and a huge turnover.
The all-pro left tackle, and then on the right side you've got Tyrone Crawford, who he gets a hit in on C.J. Beathard also. Meet at the quarterback, Staley, and the right tackle, Trent Brown. They both got whipped on that play.
Prescott throws, and it's batted into the air. Incomplete. An interception by Jordan Lewis.
I tell you, it came at a good time.
That's well over 230 plays since the Dallas defense got a takeaway. There's a penalty flag
Offside.
now.
Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
For this half, in scoring position in the red zone, Cowboys come up big.
Prescott on second down, going to run it. And he will dive ahead and get a first down. 20 seconds. Now remember, first down, and they give it to Elliott, who had a monster opening quarter. And he's up to the 45-yard line. 11 seconds left, and the Cowboys will just run out the clock. That'll do it. Well, you may remember, Dallas got off to a very fast start 2 weeks ago against Green Bay. They scored touchdowns in their first 3 drives of the game. And then they were just manhandled by the Packers in the second half, so we'll see what happens.
The fumble keeps them from coming away with 3 points of their own, at least.
Down the middle. Garcon up to the 44-yard line, and let's go downstairs to Aaron Andrews.
He most definitely at the 25 today.
Aaron, thank you. How about that little nugget our crew was able to put together? I mean, you talk about the guys in the truck headed up by our producer Richie Zions. A 40.
Run around.
Carlos Hyde ran the ball well in the opening half, and whoa, were it not.
Ago they were looking at maybe trading him. He's still trying to figure out what kind of player he is.
It's the third time today they've had third down and a yard, and you consider they were 3 of 9 on the year on 3rd and 1, and today they're 3 out of 3.
Yeah, they've been a lot better, of course. And
carried it 9 times for 52 yards. That's nearly 6 yards per carry. He's out of the game right now. And wide open is Garrett Selleck. Of course, his brother Brent from the 34-yard line. And incomplete. Not fooled a little bit.
So this season as a first-round pick.
Hyde behind would-be tacklers is able to bounce it to the outside. They're going to run it. And Hyde is dropped. That's a nice play made by Sean Lee. They're coming after the rookie. Contact made, no flag. 7:30 Eastern time on Tuesday night, game 1 of the World Series. Taking one way, throw it the other way to Ezekiel Elliott. He races down the sideline, inside the 20, back to the inside. Are you kidding me?
Skins had about 100 yards receiving on 3 screen plays a week ago, and they just give up a 70-yarder to Ezekiel Elliott.
An injury to
This should be fun.
Dan Bailey. Off the upright, nothing to it. Are you kidding me? But if that day happens, there aren't strong enough words to describe how much the Cowboys will miss having Ezekiel Elliott. Meanwhile, all right, so the 49ers now trailing 27-3. Carlos Hyde wrapped up by Orlando Scandrick. You know, these last 2 49er drives, as Allen has floated. We talk about Elliott being a good receiver. Hyde is a very good receiver.
Gene change like there has been here in San Francisco.
I mean, the offensive line just completely run over on that give.
It's all on him.
Batted down by Irving at the line of scrimmage.
After serving that 4-game suspension to start this season.
Third down at 14. Nearly had another sack. And it was caught, but it looked like the defender was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
Interception to me.
No challenge from the Dallas sideline. Out of bounds just inside the 20. Standing 27-3 lead over the 49ers. Ezekiel Elliott is having a monster day, and he's adding to it.
Yards on his first carry, and the 49ers essentially haven't stopped him on anything.
Witten. A catch run out of bounds at the 39-yard line, a first down.
Complete tight end in football. He, of course, can catch the ball, but he's an excellent blocker.
I mean, when you consider only Tony Gonzalez replaces him in middle linebacker. Second down, flag down. And a catch made by Elliott on the far side, but we wait on the penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
See a young player go down like that.
That's Alfred Morris. Now that 70-yard run. Fake it to Elliott. Dump it off to Jeff Swain.
Expected when you're coming in against a team that's 0-6.
Elliott cuts it back to the inside, and he'll run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. That's another first down.
And then on the road at Atlanta, you know, it doesn't get any easier for this organization.
Reuben Foster, by the way, is checked back into the game as Elliott carries for 3. Is worn out on the on-again, off-again saga of Elliott, but the bottom line is he's still playing football for the Cowboys. Witten to the 15, and that's another first down.
Well, hey, the players negotiated the authority of the commissioner in the collective bargaining agreement, and if you're asking me, he's going to serve 6 games. Just a matter of when he's going to serve them, you know.
Offside. Defense, number 96. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Des Bryant, they're trying to get him that, I think, all-time franchise record-tying touchdown now for these last 3 weeks. It's a good open field tackle right there, and an isolation play made by Dante Johnson. Elliott. They faked it to him, and then Prescott kept it. See if they're going to try to force feed this. No, they're going to give it to Elliott, who already has 3 touchdowns today. Again, Des Bryant down at the bottom of your screen, and Prescott will keep it and find the end zone.
Prescott, Eric Reed, you've got Rod Smith, who comes up and he's able to block him, and then there's nobody to account for Prescott.
That would need a little help.
Mustard is D.
Incredible the turnout they had for that. This wasn't like some reunion from a team. This was
pretty strong statement right there, and Dwight Clark and the way that he was able to bring the game to the fans and how much he was loved here in San Francisco. And Walsh liked what he saw, drafted him in the 10th round. He comes in with the 3rd round pick, Joe Montana. And
they did pretty well there out. Big hit delivered by Jalen Smith. And the Dallas defense, which had not had a single turnover created since week 2, comes up with another one on the big hit by Smith. Green Bay lost earlier today. Detroit off. Elliott inside the 25.
We're sure happy to see all the old timers back here at this stadium.
Elliott for a first down. You know, you look at these two franchises, though, Troy, and you are a huge part of this.
The first one we won, we knew it meant something. They had a heck of a team.
This year's class as the contributors list. Elliott cuts it back to the inside. Elliott has never had a 4-touchdown game. And Elliott to the 4. Slightly overthrown to Terrence Williams. 2nd and goal. Elliott denied the goal line. 3rd and goal. Looking for Bryant. And it is a touchdown, and that touchdown ties the all-time Cowboys franchise record. First, along with Bob Hayes.
See if he got his feet down, and the official's right there to see it. That's a great job. There's not many receivers better than him.
Now that one looked good. He becomes the 3rd quarterback ever in Cowboys history with 3 straight games with 3 touchdowns or more. Tony Romo did it.
Here in San Francisco for the last year and a half, really the last 3.5 years.
Well, you know, you go back to the firing of Jim Harbaugh. They brought in Jim Tomsula. After Harbaugh's final year, they were 8-8. Carlos Hyde up to the 37-yard line, and they bring in Chip Kelly the next year.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. First down.
They were in every single game outside of the season opener, and even that, they were in the game for 3 quarters. And that's intercepted by Anthony Brown.
They got a penalty on the field. Tell if that's maybe offensive pass interference, they're going to call it on the defense.
Before the pass was thrown, holding. Defense, number 30. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It's Anthony Brown. Jed York has admitted that there's been some mistakes on his part. I wonder if he could go back if he'd have kept Harbaugh. Hey, C.J. Beathard, he's on his back again. He'll do that.
And here, Andrews, I know you had a chance to talk to Joe Staley about some of this. Pretty nifty catch for a first down made by Trent Taylor. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who's been through it all. Like you mentioned, Joe Staley telling me leading up to this game, we were really only out of one of the games, and that was against Indy. He said easily we could have been 5-1.
And that's Aldrick Robinson. That's another guy who has a lot of loyalty.
So they brought in a lot of guys who have familiarity with Kyle Shanahan.
Story sometime before this game is over about Jimmy Johnson leaving you in the parking lot at Candlestick Park.
2-hour charter.
But he told the bus driver, after being informed that Aikman was not on the bus. Beathard on first down. Complete the good one inside the 10.
Why he even needed that?
Beathard gonna get inside the 5. That's good stuff. And there's so many guys that are on this crew right now as that's incomplete on first and goal. But
did you just read the credits with 6 minutes to go?
I did.
Okay.
Because We were setting it up on the tee for Beathard on his first career touchdown.
Well, I talked about it a little bit earlier. This is not something that he's really known for, but he can do it. And I would tell him, as I'll tell America, conclusions based on this performance. And thank gosh they didn't have those quick decisions back when I was playing. Won 3 games in a row a whole heck of a lot of times.
That would be true. There's Cole Beasley down at the 18-yard line. Played on one of the great college offensive teams in the country last year at Central Michigan University. That team sent 5 guys to the NFL. Handed to Rod Smith. And let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
Time putting one in front of Russell Wilson.
Well, take a look at this. Oh, he got level. It's over 200 rushing yards now for the Cowboys today. And look at this. Rod Smith. And the former Buckeye run out of bounds all the way inside the 20 down to the 14-yard line. Smith, and it gives you an idea about his commitment. You know, he was a running back at Ohio State. They make him a fullback with the Cowboys. And then this year, when they had a sense of the whole Ezekiel Elliott thing coming down, they move him back to running back again.
He would have been a first-round pick under normal circumstances.
Well, let me ask you this, Troy. You know better than anybody about offensive lines. You know, last year they lost at the end of last season. Doug Free, their longtime right tackle, retired. 156 Cowboy rushing yards today, and now Smith trying to add to it. Spun down. And
teammates growing up as young kids in the area. You got a rooting interest in that one? It is my home state now in Texas, so yep. I just hope it goes to game 7.
Well, you're unbelievable. Golly day. You gotta be kidding me. Batted into the air. And nearly intercepted.
20. Attack.
That's a nice catch right there by Taylor, and a well-thrown ball. One of the great rivalries in all of football, the Cowboys and the Redskins.
And any head coach who's been there, to continue to give a team a reason to be optimistic. And, you know, hey, Tom, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are trying to do, and sometimes it's easy to waver as a college head coach.
Good hard running by Rod Smith for a first down. That's going to do it. So the Cowboys end a 2-game losing streak. They even their record at 3 up and 3 down. Largest margin of victory over the 49ers, going all the way back to 1980. Cowboys had rolled up plenty of offense their last 2 games. And a lot of points, but lost both. They got a lot of offense and win big. Here in San Francisco, 40-10 our final.